Happy Monday! Hello, hello, hello. Chris, welcome in. Blaze, welcome in. Savage Splendor, hello, hello. Raffle for a signed picture of Trouble. Oh, wait, with a little paw print signed by the boy. We should do a raffle with Trouble. That would be really sweet. Jace McLeod, thanks for tuning in from YouTube. Sweeper, welcome in. And Cooperative Waffles, welcome in. How are all y'all doing? I'm so sleepy. But it was a beautiful day. It was like 75 degrees outside, so lots of outside time today. And it was very, very, very nice. Question: are Stephen Davis related to Lieutenant General Claire Lee Chenault, the commander of the Flying Tigers in World War II? You know, I don't know, but I'm going to ask them. Hang on. I'm going to take a picture. Omega Gambit, welcome in. How are you today? It's good to see you. How are all y'all doing? It was a day. Sounds about right. Better than the alternative. Brevin, welcome in. It's good to see you. How are you? How's everything? Hang on. I'm not texting during stream, I promise. I'm just sending this message to Stephen Davis. Okay. We'll see what they say. Did y'all have a good week? Did you have a good weekend? Good times? On Sunday, yesterday, Nick and I took Trouble to the beach, and we had our very first swim of the season, and that boy was very, very, very happy. The network was down at work all day, so we played euchre. Nice. I love when there's like technical difficulties. I wonder I remember when I was working in retail, the fire alarm went off and we all had to like kick rocks outside, and we were like, God, I hope it's like broken and it just keeps going off so that we have to close early and we can all go home. Pop isn't well. I had to come home early from work to check on him. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that things improve. I send you guys like all my best thoughts and stuff. He's lucky to have you. We have another taro tea. Very stoked to have it. Yeah, yesterday we went to the beach. We went to Muskegon, which if you've ever been to Muskegon in Michigan, that is a lovely, lovely place to spend the day. And we went out to like a national park and a beach over there, or a state park rather, and a beach over there. And it was like 65-ish. So that boy got to go in the water and go swimming and all of his favorite stuff. So he's been very, very sleepy today. But how are all y'all doing? Did you guys have good weeks? Any games? Anything coming up on the schedule this week? On Tuesday, we're premiering my second actual play that I'm game mastering for, which feels crazy to say. But yeah, we have this is a totally new story with a new adventuring party, same players, and I'm really, really excited about it. Robert Morris, welcome in. Good to see you. We are going in September to the Irish Festival there. I didn't know there was an Irish Festival in Muskegon. Now I think we might have to go in September to the Irish Festival. What do you do at an Irish Festival? Drink. Besides drink. Grace and the Cats. The Charisma Cats. I'm so excited. They're actually going to be live with Steve tomorrow during his stream to talk about, like, I don't know. I'm not sure what they're going to talk about, but I guess, like, the game and, like, their experience, like, playing Castles and Crusades and actual plays and stuff like that. So I'm very, very excited to, like, listen in as I finalize planning. My game is tomorrow. Oh, that's exciting. What system are you doing right now, please? I'll have to YouTube it after the game ends. Yeah. We'll have the full episodes on YouTube for sure. I'm really excited about the premise of this one. It's an idea that I've had kind of knocking around in my brain for a long time, and the basic premise is like, you know how a lot of gamers have like a million concepts that they think of and then don't use. Like, we've all have like a big list of characters that we've written and have like statted out and all that stuff, and then like just there's never a good campaign for them, or you have a campaign plan but it falls through and you never get to play that character again, and yada yada. So the premise of this campaign is that there is like a little pocket realm somewhere in like the ether where ideas live, that is pulling in these like scrapped characters and concepts, and the realm is called Draft, which is pretty apt, I think. And yeah, the players are gonna wake up in this like strange new world that's not the one that they're meant to be in, and they're gonna have to figure out how to get home if they want to get home, and so on and so forth. I'm pretty excited about it. Eat bangers and mash. They have a lot of Irish bands and beer. That sounds awesome. Irish bands go really hard. I don't know if this is relatable to anyone watching, but I've been really interested in the Hadestown soundtrack. It was an Anais Morissette album that was made into like a Broadway musical about the Greek myth of Orpheus and Eurydice. And there's like a clip going around on TikTok of an Irish singer singing one of the songs from that musical, and man, just Irish vocalists they just have something in their voices, man. It's awesome. A chaos stream tomorrow. Perfect. It will be a chaos stream, and I'm very, very eager to be a bystander and see how it goes. One day I'll get my CNC game going. I hope it's someday soon, Jim. And also, welcome in. Thanks for tuning in from Facebook. If you're not part of it already, the TLG Discord has a lot of people that are like super excited to game and get stuff planned and all sorts of stuff. So I would definitely recommend hanging out in the Discord, because you won't find better people to play with either. Anyway. 5e this game because people were familiar with, but I'm planning a one-shot in CNC. Maybe the group will fall in love and we can switch. Ooh, I hope so. I hope to hear it. Yeah, tell us how it goes. If and when you get the one-shot scheduled and all that stuff. Good old Mountain Dew. With your bangers and mash. What is bangers and mash? Wait, okay, I'm gonna guess. Mash is mashed potatoes. Mash is mash. Bangers. What are bangers? What would an Irish person call bangers? Bangers are like slider sandwiches. No, because you wouldn't have a sandwich with like mashed potatoes, would you? Bangers are chicken tendies. Sausages and mashed potatoes. I got closer with tendies. You learn something new every day. This is why I gotta go to the Irish festival. I gotta learn about Irish culture. Nick is part Irish, I believe. Scottish, Irish. My family's got like Scottish roots and some Greek roots and some German in there, I think. Sausage and taters. Boil and mash them, stick them in a stew. Hey! Lone Bruian, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. How's your stream? Raid! Bel Muerte, welcome in. Thank you so much, you guys. How's your stream? What were you guys up to? We super duper appreciate it. Pathfinder. Ooh, how did your game go? Was it a good night? Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That is super good to hear. Were you guys doing like a Pathfinder actual play? And also, were you playing 1E or 2E Pathfinder? I've heard very good things about 2E. I've heard that it's crunchy. The Pathfinder in general is crunchy. But 2? Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Well, hey, what happened? We are spending the beginning of this stream just kind of catching up and sharing the hot goss and yapping a little bit. So, hey, what'd you guys do? Abomination vaults. That's what you guys did during the game. You did abomination vaults. My brain is like filling in the blanks in that image, and it's delightful. That sounds super lovely. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Okay. I have music playing. I don't know if it just turned off or not. Let me know if you guys can't hear it. Supposed to use rule of cool. That's really... There you go. You've got the secret ingredient. That's the secret sauce. It is a multi-level dungeon. Oh, it's the name of a dungeon. I thought it was just like a thing. You know? That rocks. That sounds super fun. Well, hey, if you want to come back tomorrow, same time, I'm going to be game mastering. It's going to be the premiere of my second actual play on this channel. I've done one little mini series before, and tomorrow's gonna be the premiere of the second one. So hey, if you want to come back and like see what CNC is all about, we're all about the rule of cool, and arguably every rule is the rule of cool. I will say it's kind of like not the opposite, but I don't know, I would call it like a foil to Pathfinder, because the rules are totally modular. They're meant to be like swapped in and out as needed and as desired, just to fit everyone's like personal tastes and stuff. And it's super like lightning fast and just like shoot from the hip, do what sounds cool. that kind of game. Which VTT? I'm not going to use a VTT for this one, and I thought long and hard about it. Honestly, where that comes from, I don't want to use like AI art, like AI generated images for like maps and like example images and stuff, and I feel like I'll be tempted to, because I don't know, well, not even that I'll be like tempted to use it, but just that like so much of what you come across online now is like AI gen, and so I'd rather just try to beef up my like describing skills and see how that goes. So fingies crossed, but I think we'll have a good time. Music is still going? Okay, I'm glad. Thank you so much. Pathfinder 2e is too mechanical for my taste. Different strokes, different folks. I feel ya. Hey, and Story X, welcome in. It's good to see ya. As a player, I would probably love Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but my first and only experience with it as a GM is as a GM, and it was too much for me. I feel that. And it can really like sour it for you if you're new to it and trying to run it and not fully like getting it. Like if that's like a stressful experience, like trying to run it for the first time, I don't know if you're like me in that way, but that can totally like sour it for me. It does seem like a really, really cool game. I haven't played a tabletop RPG with skill trees before, and I'm really intrigued by that. But hey, Lom, can I call you Lom? Bree, Wien? Any one syllable? How long have you guys been playing your actual play? How long's it been going? Lom, okay, perfect, thanks. Robert Morris, welcome in. My intro to CNC with my current 5e crew is going to be a 5e adventure that has a portal to Aihrde from the realms. They will then convert their characters to CNC. Are you serious? Oh my god, that's so cool. Wait, I'm mad. I'm mad that I didn't think of that. That is a really good idea. What an awesome way to like get your characters bought into like a new system, you know? And hey, speaking of Aihrde, I swear to God, we're gonna read tonight. I promise, I swear. I'm not gonna sit here and just get distracted and yap. Hey Demdra, thank you for the follow. We super appreciate it. Pathfinder 2 on Foundry VTT allows the GM to use it for the heavy lifting. I advise running the beginner box Menace. The beginner box Menace under Otari to ease into GMing Pathfinder 2. That's the advice that I hear a lot through like just different, all sorts of different tabletop games, is like start with a module. And I never want to. I want to think of my own little story and get in there with my little gremlin hands and try to figure it out, and then it's always stressful and like tough. In a way that it wouldn't be if you were just like running a module. To like, you know, do the reasonable thing and like ease yourself into it and not have to worry about crafting a story and balancing it and doing all that stuff. Fox of RPG, welcome in. Thanks for tuning in from YouTube. We super appreciate it. I've been doing a lot of Shadow Dark stuff on my channel. That's what I like to hear. Oh my gosh. I need to get around to doing CNC look/dive in on the channel. I need to support amazing games and creators. Well, hey, if you're doing a review, reach out to me. Send me an email at productsupport@trollord.com and we'll talk. We super appreciate like online content creators, and if you're going to be using it for like content that might help you and might help us and all that stuff, we want to like try to work together. So reach out if you'd like to. No pressure. But yeah, we would love to get more CNC in more people's hands, and the very, very, very kind and hardworking like reviewers online are major in making that happen. So we super appreciate it all. Same with Fantasy Grounds. Plus has CNC. Fantasy Grounds just got a good update, but I am biased. Yeah. We had some people kind of like leading the charge with Foundry and also Fantasy Grounds. I don't think we have someone on Roll20 specifically. One thing about the Trollord team is that we're all like technologically inept in our own unique, fun, surprising ways. And I think together we kind of all come together like the Power Rangers to form one person who's technologically literate. But it does require every brain cell in the company to get past like a technical hiccup, you know? The Damsels would be willing to try it on Fantasy Grounds. Is that your group name, the Damsels? Tell me about the Damsels. One thing that we're doing, and this applies to anyone who has like an established, you know, streaming channel, YouTube channel. This summer, we're gonna be kind of spearheading this effort to absolutely like flood the airwaves with our games. So Castles and Crusades and Amazing Adventures are our two games. And we're calling it the Summer of Siege because our games have like the Siege engine, which is like the core mechanic of all of our games. And it's technically the only thing you need to run any of our games. But yeah, we're trying to do this effort to like get a lot more like actual plays and like content using these games just out online. And so for anyone with like, you know, a channel and a following and an established like audience for actual plays, we're sending like free core books and putting together a summer schedule of like these streams to try to like send out to our newsletter and just like blast like traffic everywhere. So hey, if you guys want to play some CNC, reach out, productsupport@trollord.com. We'd love to get you hooked up. Damsels of Death and Destruction. But we have a gentleman right now, so we are the Mother Cluckers. That rocks. That's so cool. That's such a good name. Do you guys have like biker jackets? I feel like there needs to be like jackets. A group jacket needs to happen. My group named themselves Duck Dynasty as one player is playing a duck race fighter. That rocks. He's the main character. Sorry. There's nothing you can do about it. It's his world. We're just living in it. Bill Allen is a media teacher who runs a CNC actual play with his students. God, great point. I need to make a note to myself, actually. Not about him specifically, but that did knock a idea loose in my brain. Sorry. Yeah, we're trying to reach out to like as many different actual play groups as possible just to get something scheduled for any time between June and August. And we'll provide like free books for it and all that good stuff. But yeah, Bill Allen's actual play fucking rules. It's so awesome. It's so awesome to see teens playing, you know? One of my favorite things about this company is our school club bundle, and we provide like a free bundle of books to teachers to use like for their students, and, you know, getting like TTRPG clubs off the ground or expanding their library. Because teachers, man, God, they put way too much of their own money in like their class supplies. There's not like a group of more dedicated people. Yeah, we love teachers and just want to make their job as easy as possible and as cheap as possible. We have a 3.5 foot tall goblin riding a mechanical chicken named Clunker. Here's the thing, I would die for Clunker. What a buddy. He's living my dream. To be, picture this. You don't pay taxes. You don't have to worry about clocking in or out of a job. You're just a little 3.5 foot tall guy riding on a mechanical chicken named Clunker. Are you serious? That rules. I would take that deal in a second. Teachers are the best. Teachers are the best, man. God, I have so much like respect for teachers. It's like their job is just, it's hard. It's really tough to be a teacher, you know. Actually, he wanted to be a duck race, but I only allowed humans, so he's playing a human who thinks he's a duck. Kind of plays like Murdoch from the A-Team. Nice. That rules. Y'all seriously have a chicken jockey? We had a squirrel jockey in our last Chat Plays CNC night, which this summer Siege, we're going to do another one of those. We are going to do another Chat Plays Castles and Crusades night, because I've been hungry for it to do another one. I thought I was your dream. Pat, listen. It's not what it looks like. Welcome to Mother Cluckers. Oh my God. I want to thank the Academy. I want to thank my mom for getting me to this moment to be welcomed into the Mother Cluckers. Oh my God. Me and Clunker against the world. Listen, I'm just a 3 foot tall little guy with a giant mechanical chicken and a dream. I've got a hole in my pants and a song in my heart. And I'm going places, gosh darn it, and I'm going on a giant mechanical chicken. The comments here are awesome. Thank you. I think so too. And hey, you guys, seriously, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. I'm going to toss a link to our Discord. Oh my God, that command isn't doing anything. Never mind. Hang on. Let me grab it manually. I swear this doesn't usually happen. But thank you all for like jumping in and hanging out and like raiding in. We super duper appreciate it. And welcome to the community. Let me just toss a link to our Discord, because hey, if you like the fuckery in the comments here, come on, you'll love it in Discord. As soon as I figure out how Discord works. Copy. There we go. Paste. Oh my God, wait. Shit, I don't know anything. Wait, I'm sorry, hang on. It's like hidden. It's fine, everything's fine. I know how to use technology. All that. There we go. Sorry about that. Our squirrel in the chat plays. Oh my god, it was Pepper and Pibs. Because it was a two-headed squirrel. It was a two-headed flying squirrel mount that our gnome protagonist rode around on, and it was great. We had a great time. Hey, 12-sided goblin, thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome in. One of us. One of us. But hey, it's been about 25 minutes. I promised in front of God and everybody that I was going to read tonight. We're not here to yap and talk and get to know each other and build community and talk about our days. We're here to learn about Aihrde. This is what we're all here for. We're here to talk about Aihrde, Airdian lore. So hey, if you're reading along at home, we are reading in the Codex of Aihrde After Winter Dark, and we're going to be starting on page 183. A two-headed dire flying squirrel. That's freaky. It was freaky. And hey, you know what? The whole video is up on YouTube. I like edited it down into like a watchable, like I think it's 40 minutes or something like that. It was like a 3 or 4 hour stream. But man, I'm so proud of that video. And I'm so proud of that stream. Chat did so well, and it was so much fun. It was a fun night. So hey, if you have 40 minutes to kill and you want to watch what I think is a great video of chat being hilarious, go to our YouTube channel and look up the Chat Plays video, because it rocks. Yapping is with the Troll Lord dudes. Yeah, that's their job. We're here for the scholarship. The scholarly pursuit of knowledge of the world of Aihrde. And for anyone who's new here, for if you came in with a raid or one of our new followers, first of all, welcome in. And secondly, his name is not Scroto. It's been done. It's overdone. We're not doing Scroto Baggins. His name was Cash McDubbins, I think. Cashew McDubbins was our gnome's name. But anyway, we're going to be reading from one of our books, the Codex of Aihrde. Aihrde is the world setting that Troll Lord Games publishes. It's one of a couple settings that we publish. Hey Ren, thank you so much for following. Welcome in, one of us. But yeah, Aihrde has 12,000 years of written history. There are multiple books of fiction that we publish that are set in this world of Aihrde, as well as this big like setting book that we provide for, you know, game masters or players. And it has two parts. There's an almanac and what's called the Andanuth. The Andanuth is like the more narrative, like history of this world, and there's some really, really great world building in there. And then the almanac is more like the game master's resource, where everything is a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like, oh my god, the word is like perfect, but it's escaping me. God, it's gone. It like shorter versions of like the descriptions of the history, but you know, still complete, abridged. Oh my god. And paraphrase, that works too. Thank you, Kern. But it's like the abridged narrative version, and then like stats and stuff that a game master would use, whereas the Andanuth is more like a storybook, with like folk tales and creation myths and all that good stuff. So hey, this is a great stream to like just body double and work on whatever you want to work on. If you're doing world building at home, if you're doing art, if you're cleaning, if you're doing homework, if you're doing laundry, settle in, get yourself a nice beverage, get cozy. I've got my sweater, and we're just gonna have a chill time and read a little bit of fiction. Toss questions in chat if you have them, as you have them. I'm sure that I will interrupt myself plenty as we read through this. And I will start this off with just a little bit of a synopsis of what we read so far. Which isn't like that much. We kind of started back at the beginning of the Codex of Aihrde. What I'm really doing is biding my time waiting for Steve's newest novel, Castle of Spires, to come out, which is very, very soon. And that's also set in Aihrde. And we have read it once before on this channel, but it was before it was published. So Grace casts mirror image a lot. Listen, what I do in my spare time, nobody needs to know, and especially not without the presence of a lawyer. Anyway, last we left off, we've been reading about the days before days in the world of Aihrde. So what we have is this kind of all-powerful god figure called the Allfather, who is also sometimes called Aihrde, but spelled a little bit differently. And the Allfather is kind of responsible for most of the well, really almost entirely everything that is now existing in the material plane. So he created the planet, the world of Aihrde. He has created a plethora of minor gods, not minor gods, but like a pantheon of gods, one rung below himself. And they have their various domains and alignments for themselves, dispositions rather. And what else? Oh yeah, there's Inza is another name that you'll hear as we continue to read. Inza is a dragon who was not created by the Allfather. And she's the only thing in the material plane that was not created by the Allfather. She is in almost every way his equal. And the two of them, most recently, have met because she is this kind of like twisting, chaotic force that's kind of creating this like maelstrom of energy in the void. And the Allfather sees her and is so struck by her and thinks that is a great place to build Allfathertopia. So he builds the planet of Aihrde kind of on top of her back, and she finally notices this. And she's like, what the heck? And so she goes up into the world of Aihrde and kind of spies for a little while, and eventually the Allfather notices her, and he attempts to teach her what is called the language of creation. And the language of creation is really like the origin of all magic. It is a language that only the Allfather knows completely and has mastered completely. Many others have tried. And Inza, this dragon, it's kind of like trying to teach a dog to speak a little bit. Like, they can understand some words, but they don't have like the mouth and the lips and the tongue movements to be able to say them. So she struggles to like speak the language of creation, but she does figure out how to do stuff with it. So that's kind of where we are. We're gonna talk about the entrance of dragons into the world of Aihrde, which I anticipate Inza will have something to do with. That is my little like very abridged recap. Obviously a lot more stuff has happened than just that. We've had like the sun and the moon enter the scene and all these different gods and their relationships, all sorts of stuff. Coop Waffle says axe beak. God, axe beaks, those are real birds, aren't they? Hang on, one last tangent and then I swear to God I'm gonna read. Axe beak. No, they're not real. God damn it, what am I thinking of? Oh my God. Birds that look like dinosaurs. What am I thinking of? Shoebill! Oh my God. Have you guys heard a shoebill bird like call? Whew. They're so scary. Hey Max, welcome in, and thank you so much for the follow, my friend. One of us. It's good to see you. Welcome in. Glitch, welcome in. It's been a while. How are you? It's so lovely to see you. Cassowaries are also fucked. They're fucked. But the shoebill is the scary one to me. Just look at it. I swear to God, look up a video of it like moving, just walking. It's eerie. The bird that sounds like an AK-47. I would rather be threatened with an AK-47 than have a shoebill like charging at me. D&D does have axe beaks. Yeah. I mistook axe beaks for shoebills. They have the same naming convention. Axe beak, shoebill. I don't know. I have a shoebill minion from Final Fantasy 14. I know numbers. Was a dungeon drop. That's awesome. I only ever played Final Fantasy 15. Should I play the others? Okay, I'm getting distracted again. We are gonna read. I swear to God. Welcome in. Thank you for joining. We're gonna read, and then we'll continue to chat and yap afterwards. But hey, trolls ah. New original, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Of the dragons. The arc of time continued to uncoil, and the weight of it pooled and gathered at the feet of the shadow of the Allfather. This was one of the Allfather's very first creations. Its name is Toth. It's kind of the Allfather's equal, and he kind of stands in judgment watching the arc of time play out, which is basically the timeline of the universe that has a start and has an end and is like a metaphorical kind of thing, but also is literal. It's kind of physical, like it's a river that ends in pools. So that's his deal. In that time, Aihrde, the Allfather, grew restless with his world. Turning his thoughts elsewhere, he wondered on what more he could create. He thought then upon the dragon Inza, and the beauty of her form, of the reckless danger caught within her, and his thoughts traveled into the maelstrom as an ode, and she heard it. In time she rose from the realm beneath the world and came to him, for she too remembered him and all that he had wrought. They bargained then upon the edge of creation, and Aihrde, the Allfather, taught her the knowledge of the trees and their waking, and she promised him dragons in return. Now what he's talking about here with the trees and their waking, at first all of the trees in the world of Aihrde were sentient. They're live, living creatures, which I guess trees are alive, but they're sentient, like animal creatures that have like limbs and they can move and talk and all this stuff. And one little known thing is that later trolls will be descended from these race of sentient trees, but right now they're just trees and they're called the sentients. So that's what Aihrde is imparting to Inza. When this bargain was struck, Mordias, the goddess of nature, grew wroth with the Allfather, for she had feared the dragon more than aught else. She called upon him to break off his bargain and yield no knowledge of the trees, whose roots came even to her doorstep. But the Allfather denied her and laughed, for his joy was in creation and always making the world new. Mordias was in the power of her youth, unspent and fearless to the point of recklessness. In this, she mirrored her brother, Orndul, untamed and filled with passion. Orndul is also called the Red God, and he is kind of like the big, bad, evil man, evil god of this setting. She rose in a tempest about Aihrde and thundered upon the world, cast out to the trees, bidding them to dig deeper into the earth and to take no heed of rock or stone. The plants of the world did as she bade them, and they dug into the dirt, their roots pushing into any crevice, great or small, driving ever deeper. They broke rock and stone, and they changed the earth in ways none could have predicted. So it was that Sorry, grammar thing. So it was that the fauna clung to all things, and in time wore it down, whether sandy soil or mountain stone. Mudita World Peace, welcome in, good to see you. Aihrde took no notice, and he drew forth many trees and set them in the maw of the dragon, and she bore them away to her own domains, and set them the task of spreading through her world. Yeah, at this point, Inza has been so fascinated with the world of Aihrde, she is now creating her own world, which is called Inzea, underneath the world of Aihrde. Where she had been, now lay a clutch of eggs, set in woven stone upon a range of mountains, whose height she crushed with her weight. And it was a place of wonder, for Inza tore a hole in the skin of the world, and opened a rift into the maelstrom. And the maelstrom ravaged her flesh, so that she bled into it. Where her blood and the chaos mingled, a deep abiding pool remained, the nest of dragons. How many eggs Inza left, none now can say, but Aihrde took them all, laid warm earth upon them, and sat over them, singing the language of creation, his voice like a blanket upon their leathery shells. I'm a little bit enchanted with the idea of Aihrde, the all-powerful god, just kind of sitting on top of a clutch of eggs and just singing a little ditty, a little tune. He's being a good mom. When at last they hatched, he was amazed. Their serpentine forms slid forth and into the world. Some flew, others crawled, and still others slipped into the rocks and vanished. They were of many colors and shapes. Some were long and thin, others wide and heavy. They had wings and a keen intelligence Aihrde had not expected. In this way, the dragons came to be. They carried the intelligence of Inza and the wisdom of Aihrde, and in the breath of Aird's song they learned of the language of creation in parts or in whole. In those days they were numerous and powerful beyond imagining. They soared upon the heights, commanding the wind, or they plunged into the deepest of the seas, breathing water. They fought terrific duels in the clouds, upon the land and beneath the seas, for nothing save the lust of battle. Had there been any but the gods to see them, they would have stood in awe at the ferocity of their battles with fang and talon, fire, ash, acid, and lightning, and in the dragon's storms of wind, rain, and ice, as well as other things beyond all knowing. Of them all, the first to hatch was more striking than all the others. And in the breath of Aird's song, he alone learned the language of creation in all its manifold parts. Hued golden red, with a long, narrow body and wings of fire, the dragon lay in the nest of his mother's making long after all the others had fled. He devoured the shells of the eggs about him, and thus came to know all the dragons and the secrets of their yoke. After he settled upon the ruin of the nest, bathing in the bloody waters of his mother's chaos, he set his gaze upon the Allfather. Aihrde returned the dragon's stare for a long age, but the dragon never flinched, casting back Aird's vision with unblinking eyes. In time, Aihrde left the nest, and the Wyrm thought himself victorious over the Allfather, which I think is great, by the way. I want the confidence of this little guy to be like, I beat him. We were having a staring contest and I won. I beat him. He looked away first. I'm better than him. I beat him. I won. I win. He's so sweet. I love him. The most fearsome beast in all of Aihrde, and he's very cute. Hey, Stronghold, welcome in. How are you? It's good to see you. And Sweeper, have a lovely night. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate you. he thought himself victorious over the Allfather. Few could ever make such a claim. And the dragon took his name then, Frafnog, which means the unblinking. Though he took other names besides, known only to him and no other, Frafnog was that which he bore in all ages of the world. Not even Aihrde could see into his mind, for it was the will of Inza that some things were denied his wisdom. Upon the Allfather's departure, Frafnog moved from the nest and into the world, for he sought to know all he could and understand the order of things. He found the deep places of the world denied to him, but the wide open world indifferent. He stole upon Mordias in a grove of trees, and spoke with her at great length, seeking secrets by which he could hold sway over the world, just as, according to his fancy, he held sway over the Allfather. Mordias could not look into the dragon's mind, and therefore mistrusted him. Because of this, she made the world aware of Frafnog, so that ever after the forests and plants of Aihrde would not hide the dragonkind. Frafnog rose then to the skies and passed through the wall of worlds, for he had found the secret way by carefully watching the journey of the sisters. The sisters are the twins, Aihrde and Aihrde, the sun and the moon. And actually, you know what? They're not twins. Aihrde was born first. The moon was born first. But yeah, the sisters are the sun and the moon. Hey, Agile, welcome in. Good to see you. He found Corthane, the god of justice, I would call him, in his dwelling beyond the edge of the world, in the fortress of Aiul. Corthane welcomed the dragon into his realm, and there passed such a discourse that Frafnog learned more than ever he hoped he might. He saw then that he had not bested Aihrde in his beginning, rather that Aihrde had merely grown bored and restless with him and moved on. He learned that Corthane's might was untested and unspent, and that while others spun themselves into the fabric of the world, Corthane stood upon the grass, in the ever-blowing wind, aloof above all, little tainted from the moment of his own creation. The dragon grew uneasy, and a fear gnawed at him as he talked with Corthane, and in that moment he came to fear Corthane, for he saw the iron of law and the guiding hand of justice, and in that, the death of his freedom. Hey, Agile, thank you so much for gifting that sub to Jolly Green Giant. We really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you. When people sub, I can't tell you, it goes such a long way to help support us, and we put that money back into the Twitch channel to keep planning for cool new things. So thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. And we never anticipate that people are gonna sub here, so thank you. But anyway, the blowing wind bothered the dragon ever after, for it was freedom that the dragon loved most of all. He was freed of the fetters of creation, freed of the doom of those bound to others. His power was raw, uncorrupt, and his alone to dispense as he desired. Frafnog left Corthane and wandered the world once more. In time, he ruled over all dragons, at least as much as dragons can ever be ruled. For dragons have the power of their own freedom, and bend to another's will only reluctantly and with great pain. Frafnog used the secret of their yokes to grant them names, and these names carried from one generation to the next for all time, and in this they heard the echo of the nest of their birth. The nest of dragons is reputed a place of great wonder to the Wyrms, for here all their ancestors came to be. At its heart, stands a pool of clear red water, from which runs a fountain that tumbles down the flanks of the mountain. And this fountain's water lies eternal life for any and all who bathe in it. This nest the drakes have always sought, for its location they misremembered, and forgot it to all but the very oldest of the beasts, and even those ancient creatures cannot find it, for the world has utterly changed. As is known, Frafnog, the greatest of dragons, hid the nest in confusion and doubt, so that ever after those who sought the nest lost their way, and it is not known if any have ever found it again. Robert got a run, Grace. We were without power for 7 days and internet for 19 days from the ice storm, so I'm now catching up on videos. Have a nat 20 night. You as well, Robert. I'm so sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that stuff got sorted out now. It was lovely to have you. Thanks. Have a great rest of your night. But the introduction of dragons into the world was never peaceful, for they brought with them a carelessness of action that summoned the wrath of the gods. In those early days, they bore the power of Inza in them, as did their first several clutches. First Mordias warred with them, and then Orndul. And in the last, Corthane came down from the fortress of Aihrde, and gathered about him a host of Fae and fell upon them. It was in those days that Corthane fashioned himself a winged steed, with long legs and a noble snout, a white coat and a yellow mane. He fashioned armor for his mount and himself, and took up weapons of his own design. And seeing the great number of dragons and the damage they wrought, Corthane set to the forge and fashioned the Aramas, the Rune Maidens. These maidens were the mirror of his eye, for they possessed a singular purpose. He armed them with weapons of steel and armor, and gave them steeds fashioned after his own. The Rune Maidens departed from the fortress of Aihrde and rode the winds of the great empty. Following their grim master, they broke through the wall of worlds and came to Aihrde, and there Corthane unleashed them upon the world. Battles raged across the heavens as the gods and their minions hunted the dragons. Much of creation was lost or changed, and many of the lesser Val Ericune perished. The gods in this setting are called Val Ericune, or at least the major ones are. Orndul had the worst of all these duels, with the dragon Inaltex. Cobalt blue, long and sinewy, opened a rift in a cave he cherished. Oh, I apologize. The worst of all these duels when the dragon Inaltex, cobalt blue, long, sinewy, opened a rift in the cave he cherished. Anyway. Oh, am I out of focus? Hang on, let me just fix that really quick. It'll take 2 seconds. I like talking about dragons. I feel like we're really getting back to our tabletop RPG roots. Okay, anyway. He took her by the snout and pushed her beneath the curtain of dark confusion, and a great fear descended upon her, for no dragon as of yet had seen the darkness of death. And she bit him upon his face and tore out his eye, so that he fell back into his own madness. Inaltex then rose on high and took to the heavens, where she swallowed the eye. It burned her like a jewel of fire, tearing a hole in her guts, and she vomited it forth, spitting it into the wide world. Where it landed, none could say, but Orndul suffered blind in that eye ever after, and man and dwarf have long sought the eye, for it is said to possess wondrous power. In their youth, the dragons drove the gods back, but never for long. Mordias ruled the world wherever things grew, and the Evorgan were her comrades. They felt a kinship with her that they shared with no other, for it was from her beginnings that they first took root. And Orndul commanded the dark passages of the world, and no drake ever overcame the subtleties of his mind, which were the passages of his caverns. And few could stand against the decrees of Corthane, whose wrath was terrible to behold, and whose voice fell from Aiul like a javelin that no armor could withstand. His voice found the flaw of all things but one. In time, the dragons learned humility, and the gods had the better of them. Frafnog stood apart from all these struggles, and sought only to master the language of creation, but in this was foiled. His voice could not intone the necessary nuance, so that in the end, though he knew the language, he could not use it. He found in his travels a range of mountains that overlooked the sea, from which he could see the sun or moon cast back upon the amber waves. And he took up residence there. He made himself a great lair, dug from the earth and filled with the riches of his many adventures, and from the supplicants who came to pay him homage. Even now, nestled in the heart of the Coal Crab Mountains, he is one of only a handful of all the world who remember the days before days. When at last the dragon settled into the world and spread far and wide, Aihrde knew peace, and all things grew in abundance for days without number. But the Allfather grew restless once more, and sought to add to his perfection. And that is the end, actually, of the first oration, which is to say the first chapter of the Codex of Aihrde. So that's really the end of the first era, the days before days, rather. So this is a period in Airedean history where there's no written history. There's no civilizations, there's no societies, there's no player races. There's just kind of trees and dragons and gods. And that's what you got. Mordius, I think, is in the process of populating the world with animals, and the other gods are kind of adding to that endeavor as well. But for the most part, that's the day before days. And I guess next time we pick this back up, if we continue with the Codex of Aihrde and not move into fiction, we'll go from the days before days to the beginning of days. And let me just read the little preamble here. This is a description of what the second oration contains, wherein the Allfather grants life to the dwarves, the men and giants, the rise of the red god Orndul, and the fortifying of time and his contests, of the coming of the merfolk and the love of gods. The chroniclers account this the second Rin upon the arc of time. I think the merfolk and the love between the god of the sea and somebody else, who I guess you'll have to tune in to find out whomst, if you're new and don't already know. I think that's one of my favorite Airdean stories. They're just fun, man. These are like little fables and folk tales and all sorts of fun stuff about a fun little fantasy world. I shouldn't call it little. I feel like that kind of cheapens it. It's not little. It's huge. It's 12,000 years of written history. But I don't know. It's just great. It's really nice. I hope you guys liked the story about the dragons. But I think it is kind of just about that time. So I think I might find somebody to toss a raid to. And then maybe we'll go ahead and get out of here. But I really appreciate you guys all hanging out and spending your Monday night with me. You could have been anywhere, and I really appreciate your time. If you're still here and still watching, tomorrow, Tuesday night, at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be premiering. The campaign is going to be called Scrapped. So it's going to be the premiere of Scrapped tomorrow here at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's my second CNC actual play campaign ever, And so I'm very much still learning the ropes, but we're having a really good time planning for it. And I can't wait to show you guys the world that I've made. So this is kind of my first like tabletop RPG setting that's completely just mine. I ran 5e actual plays in the past, but those were always settings that I had like created with other people, and this one's kind of just from my brain. So if you like what you've heard going on in here, then hey, come hang out tomorrow. It'll be fun. Would you ping me on Discord real quick if you'd be willing to, Agile Monk over there? Sure thing. If you don't mind, I can ping you tomorrow. If it's urgent, shoot me an email. But otherwise, I'll ping you tomorrow, I promise. Much appreciated. Did I join at the end? Oh, buddy! You did, we're just wrapping up. But hey, it's great to see you. And you guys keep an eye on Vocal Outburst's channel, because maybe you'll see some CNC goodness over there. Ho ho ho. Who do we raid into? I think it's got to be Critical Fail again. They're so cool. God, they're cool. If you guys want a really awesome actual play channel, these people fucking rule. They're so cool. So hey, I would super appreciate it if you all have like a minute to spare to just say something nice in this channel that we're about to raid into. It just made my night. It made my night when Loam and Bella and all those other folks came in from playing Pathfinder and then hung out and chat for a little while. It made me so happy. And I think that that's a universal streamer thing, where once like a raid happens and people like join in, if they like hang out and just talk a little bit, it makes the biggest difference in people's night. So if you have a moment to spare, I'm going to be in there hanging out in chat. I would love to see you guys in there as well. Just say one nice thing to the streamer before peacing out for the night. And their stream is really entertaining and cool, so that's a bonus as well. But thank you all again. I hope to see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Steve will be going live with my players at 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central tomorrow. And I think they'll be talking maybe about the game and about CNC. If you're new to Castles and Crusades, that'll be a great stream to kind of poke your head into and see what it's all about. We'd love to see you there. And yeah, please come to the actual play at 8 p.m. We'd love to see you there. I'm always ready to like stream to 0 people, you know what I mean? But we are gonna go. Thank you all. Go in peace, make the words, do good. I will see you next time. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.